I wish this still had ice in it so I can have a really dramatic sound.
I know you're jealous of me. You should be.
We're gonna set it off
If you came here to be nosy, you came to the right place. If you came here to hear from the cast of Are You the One, including myself, you came to the right place. If you are one of my castmates and you are watching simply to see who I talk shit about, take a seat. At least you're here. I'm happy you're here. Welcome. Stay till the end, okay? It's not gonna be that bad. If you don't know me, hi, my name is Danielle. Danny to some, whatever I am to you, that's your business. I'm a 3 times NBA dancer, and some of you know me from being featured on MTV Season 9's most infamous and my favorite dating show, Are You the One? That sounds so crazy. Now, I came up with this idea for a podcast called Behind the One back when the show was airing, and I pitched it to the network, and they loved it. They loved it, but they were like, you can't say half this shit that you sent to us. And I was like, that's crazy. So it's been a year. I've ruffled enough feathers with my castmates enough trying to slightly spill the tea here and there on social media platforms. And I think it's about time we, stirred the pot. That is going to resonate very closely with my castmates because that is all we literally used to say was stir the pot, because that was literally all that was happening, was just drama, and more drama. Because we were filmed for 4 to 5 weeks, despite the 10 weeks that you guys thought we were being filmed, I just realized I need some lip gloss. Hold the literal fuck on. Hold on. How did I literally start this out?
Hello?
Mm-hmm. Because we filmed this for about 4 to 5 weeks, despite the 10 weeks that you guys think we did, I broke this down into 4 videos. In every video, we'll go over 3 episodes at a time. And for the last video, we'll go over the finale if we won the $1 million. $1 million. $1 million. $1 million. $1 million motherfucking dollars. On that video, we'll go over life after the show and talk about what I did with the money. Because regardless if we won or not, we got paid to be there. I don't think you knew that. That's the first T. That's the first T drop. Mic drop right there. Oh my God. Did I break it already? Oh my God. And for those of you who did not watch the show, I will tell it as if you've never seen it before. So if you've already seen it and you're like, girl, I knew this. Well, not everybody finished watching it. Not everybody even watched it. And if you didn't finish watching it, I am judging you. I am judging you very hard. You're supposed to be my friend. You didn't finish watching it? Oh, because you didn't have a Paramount subscription? Baby, that shit $5. If you don't log into Yo Mama's Paramount Plus or find it on YouTube, and if not, it is on Amazon Prime. It is on Amazon Prime without any commercials. I told you, that's a secret. Just saying. Disclaimer. If you are said networks that I have signed any sort of agreement with, I will delete anything that you tell me that I need to delete. But until that moment comes, I am saying everything that I can say. Respectfully. I'm gonna keep it PG.
I got some R-rated dialogue for you, but I'm gonna keep it PG.
Now we need to take this all the way back to April of 2022. My best friend Alexia from the Spurs told me that my favorite show was having auditions, and the show had just went on a hiatus for like 4 years. So I was geeked to even find out that the show was coming back, let alone I get the opportunity to audition. Absolutely. So when people ask me like, how did I audition, or like, how did I end up getting on the show? It's kind of annoying because honestly, I just applied like a job. I went on MTV's website, I clicked apply for Are You the One, and I applied. That was it. My castmates, they did a whole bunch of other things that we will discuss with them later down the line on how they got on the show. So I applied online. I got a text on April 19th, the day after I sent in the application. For the next 3 months, I went through this long audition process, which I'm not complaining. If there's anything, oh my God, no. Nobody can talk to me right now. I'm filming a video. Sorry, William, it was you. Disclaimer. I am not trying to be sued by MTV and Paramount. That's 2 networks. Anything that they need me to cut out, I'm gonna cut it out, okay? Because it doesn't need to be there, apparently, by them. And I'm not trying to pay them a bunch of money. You can give it to them. Because when you get mad that I don't cut it, that I cut it out, I'm gonna call you for the bill. I'm gonna call you for the money, okay? I'm gonna call you for the money. I'm just letting you know, all right? I had my phone interview. Then I had to send in an audition tape. I'm pretty sure I still have it. Insert it now.
So much. I will talk to you later. Danielle is out, bitch. MTV. If I'm gonna be on MTV, fuck. And cut.
I think my audition tape was pretty good, but we had to send in all the pictures and all the stuff about our exes and all that stuff. Everything that you need to know about me, I sent it to them. In June, I finally get through the whole audition process and I find out that I'm gonna be on the show.
You're gonna remember.
But at this time, I had no idea where we were going. I think I got the ticket for the destination. I'm not even joking you, like 2 or 3 days before I left. So I had no idea. I just know it's the summertime and that's all I need to know. So I finally get the email. We're going to Gran Canaria, Spain. Now keep in mind, I knew this was going to be a global edition before we went to go film it. I didn't know we were going to be filming globally. I mean, actually, that's not true. I did know that because I had to get my passport and it was a whole thing. I literally already have a video on my YouTube channel, surprisingly, about that. So if you want to figure out about the passport thing, just go watch that video, please. Just go watch that video. I am not about to talk about that right now. But I ended up making it all the way there to Gran Canaria, Spain. I got picked up by who I now know who they are, but at the time, no idea who they are, because keep in mind, I was talking to everybody via Zoom or on the phone, and all those people are casting directors. They're not going to be there at the situation on hand with me when I get to the show. No, there's going to be handlers. There's a sign with my name on it. And I was like, that's me. Now, I took a video of it and I was obviously videotaping this entire process, but I really wanted to also make sure if I was getting kidnapped, everybody knew step by step what the fuck happened to me. So clearly, obviously, I was not kidnapped. I meet the handlers who are picking me up at the airport. They put me in a BMW and he is driving me. And the only thing that is making me feel like I am not being kidnapped is this little piece of paper in the front of the car that says Paramount on it. Like, I was like, okay, if they're really trying to kidnap me, they went to the odds and ends of the earth to print out a Paramount paper to just insinuate and make me feel comfortable that I was about to get kidnapped. Thankfully, I wasn't kidnapped. Pull up to the hotel and I am greeted by this sexy man named Melvin. Now, let's take one second. Those handlers and the people who were watching us, some of them motherfuckers was fine as fuck. Okay, Mr. Melvin, shout out Mr. Melvin. Hey Melvin, I don't know why I'm saying Mr. We're the same age, but like, hey Mr. Melvin. I get greeted by Melvin. He takes me straight up to my room. I didn't end up leaving that room for like 5 days. This was at the very end of COVID. So when it came to traveling, we were still quarantining and we were still wearing masks. It was still that time. Okay. We were still in the icky time. So on day 5 of my quarantine, they tell me that I am going to go do my media day. So all those sexy slow-mo shots in that like bikini where I'm like, you know, looking really hot and stuff. Yeah. We filmed all of that on that day. And I was deeply watching Stranger Things. Okay, I was watching the literal fuck out of Stranger Things throughout that entire quarantine period. So my hair is giving this really sexy mirrored 80s look. Just so happened to withhold into my let me get ready like I'm literally being casted for Stranger Things type vibe. I didn't realize I was going for it by accident, but that's why my hair looks like that. Does it look bad? No. But do you see the 80s reference? Right. Okay. Trust me, we are going to judge the literal fuck out of me throughout this entire process and rate my outfits and my hair. I just like to make fun of myself. I do. So why not make fun of myself? Because y'all were gonna make fun of me anyways. I noticed, keep in mind, they transported us around in these black BMWs. I pull up and I'm talking tens, I was about to say thousands, 15 black BMWs lined up along this big ass hill that our house lived on. Because see right here, it was on a hill. I'm not giving away anything, production people. Okay, you took a picture of the place. I could Google it. Real estate. My sister's a real estate agent. I know this is not wrong. Please don't get me in trouble, okay? And all these cars are parked down the hill. And I know that the contestants are in there. I'm telling you, they were Caterpillar lined up, okay? Like that fucking Slitherio game. I loved that game. they were all lined up, and then there was like people who were working with the network who were like motioning the cars to like go. So I'm like, are we all gonna pop out of the car at the same time and like walk up the hill together? And then like how is this gonna go? So there was one car that pulls up alongside my car for a second, and when it happened, the handler was like, no, get it, like telling the driver,
No, God! No, God, please, no! No!
When I saw that car pull up, little did I know, I was looking dead straight in the eyes of my perfect match, which is crazy. That was the very first person that I saw, and I walked in with my perfect match. Just thinking about that now blows my mind, because I remember sitting in that car thinking, oh my God, I just saw my first person. Like, what if that's my perfect match? And then it was. Like, I don't think anybody from my cast can say that. So we walk in the house in fours. And what I didn't know, my group was the last group to walk in. So when I walked in, everybody was already there. I walk in with Cece, Hamoudi, and Will. Now, let's pause. I need to tell you the first impressions, because when we came in, you know, where we're filming at is, think of it like a set, and then there's like the background of the set. Am I giving away anything, production people? Please tell me, because I don't really think I am, okay? I think that's pretty normal to know. And when we get there, they're like, nobody can talk to each other. You can't talk to each other until you enter the house. And when you enter the house, that's when you can talk to each other. So we're sitting there, okay? Like, staring at each other, judging each other, because I'm like, you could be my perfect match. Like, you could be somebody I fall in love with. Like, what are you thinking about me? Like, we walk into the house, and first people I see, I have to say, the first people who caught my eye was Brooke, Eduardo, and Roz. Those are and Ollie.
Oh, Ollie, I get to look at him every day.
They are all, I don't know what it was, but those are the people who caught my eye, and Akel. I just see these beautiful people, and Roz caught my eye first simply because I was like, I am not the only black person on this cast. I was so worried about that. And you're like, why are you worried? Why were you worried about it? Because, bitch, when you're the only black cast member, you are set into this black stereotype of whatever either you are, what you portray yourself as, whatever they edit you as, the way you look, the way you talk, the way you dress. Like, let's not even get into that, okay? But you get my point. I saw Roz, and I was like, thank you, Jesus. And I saw Brooke, and then I looked to my right again, and then I saw Jordan, and I was like, oh my God, another black girl. And then I saw JR. I was geeked. I was like, I can act my complete self here, because I was worried. I was going in there, but I understand I am from like the fucking suburbs of California, where everybody around me is way paler than I am. Like a majority of the entire fucking city. Being brown in a majority pale city. Sorry, white people aren't pale. Is that disrespectful? You get what I'm saying? I ain't trying to be rude. I just want you to know, when I walked in there, that is what my first stresses were about, because somebody asked. Shout out to my people on Instagram who asked the questions, because I told you I was going to answer them, and we are here to answer them today. What was the most shocking and most frustrating thing about reality TV? Literally that. Like, even when it came down to my packing, which, keep in mind, I just want to point out, they told us to bring 10 evening gowns and 10 workout fitness outfits, and then lounge clothes, everyday clothes, whatever. We'll touch on that in a little bit later. I was very much in my hoe phase of my time frame of being single. I'd only been single, not even for a full year at that point. I think when I had auditioned for the show, I'd only been single for like 10 months. And by the time the show was being filmed, I had been single for an entire year. And I was going through the fucking waves, bitch. Like, but I was in the hoe phase at this time. So my wardrobe was very fitting to the way I looked and the way I was acting. And I thought if I was going to be one of the only black girls, or the only black girl who was going to go on there, and I was going to dress in my very ratchet-esque type looks. I don't think it's ratchet. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. Look, if you're getting your fucking britches in a knot off of this video, get out, okay? We didn't come here to be sensitive as fuck. I'm very nice and sensitive, and I'll always make sure. But like, relax. I know we're in a new year. I know everybody be getting upset about literally fucking everything. I was dressing in this like club video vixen type vibe, and I knew if I went in the video vixen type vibe that I was gonna look a certain way, which is exactly how I was and looked. So I don't know what I was trying to do, but I was trying to keep it clean. I was trying to keep it PG. I was trying to give you American Eagle black girl, okay? So when I was packing, I was grabbing all the shit that I wore at American Eagle and throwing it in there. Like what I wore on my date for Leo, I would never wear that. I wouldn't have worn that at that time. I wouldn't have worn that today. I was literally simply trying to fit a stereotype. Anyways, where was I? I got off topic. See, this is why these videos are gonna be so fucking long. So let's get back to walking in the house. We walk in the house. We're the last group to walk in. I immediately start obviously talking to everybody. Everybody's chitting and chatting. I remember walking up on the balcony on the top floor, and one of the first boys I connected with, oh my God, are we really about to go here? Is that what's next? It is, goddammit. It says meeting Mikey. Around the two sides, it's 2 throw up things. I feel like I'm gonna have to have like healed and like different Danielle come and talk to you, but right now this is like I'm reliving this as I'm talking to you, Danielle, so it's just a little bit more emotional. But the healed girl, she'll come in and she'll help out the girl who's about to talk right now, because I'm about to make a mess of myself. I already know. I'm so nervous. I didn't even write that much under Mikey because I knew I was gonna go on a tangent. When I was writing this out, Anissa asked me who the top 3 guys that caught my eye first. I was really heavily attracted to like everyone. I think honestly when I walked in, it was the sexiest and hottest cast I had seen casted for Are You the One and Are You the One history. And that was like the number one thing that we kept saying to each other. We were like, damn, this is about to be the hottest cast of Are You the One. Also the most black girls on the episode. So keep in mind, the show was global. We had 11 Americans. I'm going to dub in me talking in this area because I don't know how many else people we had by their states and countries. But I'm pretty sure that I cut this part out and I told you on the screen or something that I told you where everybody was from and what countries. Good job, Danielle. Post edit. I walked on the balcony upstairs. I went and looked out over all of Gran Canaria, Spain, and it was beautiful. And I was like, what the fuck is my life? What is going on? As I'm having this come to awe moment with myself, there's this boy, Mikey, next to me. And I remember we looked at each other and we said, hi, my name is Danielle. Hi, my name is Mikey. And I remember he was like, what do you do? Because that's what adults do these days. When you're trying to date, you're just like, what do you do? God forbid you don't have a fucking job. Like, pfft. Anyways, he asked me what I do. And I said, I'm a dancer. And he said, me too. And then after that, silently, I fucked each other very quietly. Like, oh, wow. It looks like you are about to be my favorite person in this house. It was giving that vibe, okay? After that happened, I swear I didn't talk to Mikey until we were picking our rooms. Fast forward, after I meet Mikey, we go play this game. Now, I am not going to go deep into this game. Why? Because we're going to see it a couple of times, okay? I'm going to see this game. It's going to be a little redundant. It's going to be a little repetitive. I was told to bring 10 fitness outfits. Saying. So yeah, we go to play this game and it is infidelity versus career or something. What was it? Like if your relationship ended with infidelity and career. I didn't even know what infidelity meant until like 2 days before that. Because I don't think that these games are really that entertaining, we're just gonna fast forward through it. But this one in particular, I just want to say, I was in the middle. I did not come on here to start talking about my ex immediately, but they were like, girl, this is your time, this is your moment.
So there was a both category for both career and infidelity. Nobody got the correct answer. Correct answer was actually Danielle. Danielle, can you speak to that?
Dived into that, had to talk about how I got cheated on within the first 5 minutes of the show airing. So that was real cute and fucking fabulous. I knew that was gonna happen. I knew my ex's family was probably gonna watch it and be like, click, like immediately. They're like, this bitch. I don't look, you know, in reality shows, picking your room and running to your room is like a thing. We wrapped for the game. They bring out all our suitcases and they say, okay, go pick your rooms. You know, that wasn't on our minds when we first got there. It was like, ooh, let me go look at the beds. It was more of like, let's talk to like every single person we came here to talk to. We run down the stairs and I pick my bed. And when I picked my bed, Mikey was standing there and we both ran down there and we looked at each other and he put his stuff there and he was like, well, I'm going to sleep here. Or maybe I did it first and he said, well, I'm going to sleep here. And we decided we're going to sleep next to each other, but it was very quietly, little unspoken moment. I want you to know, like, that is a moment. Like, think about it. You just met this person and you come down, you could sleep next to fucking anybody, a female. But I strategized. I wasn't going to sleep next to a female because why would I do that? I came here to win money and date these motherfuckers. So that's what the fuck I was going to do. So I was going to sleep next to a man. Did I think it was going to be Mikey? No, but was I glad at the time? Yes. So we choose our beds. Fast forward to the nighttime. So I'm over in the pool talking with Clay and we're kind of like having like, you know, this very cute conversation. He's telling me about his family. Like I'm you know, actively trying to talk and get to know these guys. Over on the couch, these whores are all playing Never Have I Ever, and somehow when you lose, you have to kiss somebody.
5 fingers. If you've done it, you put it down. The first one to all fingers to go down has to pick someone to kiss.
Very MTV coded, such a vibe. That's when I was like, I'm with the right people. Like, these are my people. This is what I need to be doing. Problem is, I was sitting there talking with Clay and Ollie.
Oh, shit, man.
We were the sensible ones of the group, so
it's not boring.
Well, not boring, but we took a different approach. We sat on the side and watched the kids have their fun.
Clay and Ollie, I love you so much. But let me tell you, this game was very me coded. If anybody knows me, this was like, I would probably have been the one to insinuate that we played this game. When I was sitting talking with Clay and Ollie, they were like, oh, we're not gonna get into that on the first night. Like, that's gonna make us look bad, blah, 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 blah. So I was being a fucking pick-me girl. And I was like, yeah, you're right. Like, I shouldn't get into that right away. But also in the back of my mind, I had my father who called me the week before and said, Danielle, you have a great time, but do not have sex on television, okay? Do not have sex on TV, okay? And I was like, got it, Dad. So I didn't know what his level of that was, but me kissing on the first day, I didn't think that was gonna be check mark off his bingo card that he wanted for that year. But you know, I had to live my life, but in this moment I was not living for me, so I ended up not playing this game. And because I didn't play this game, there was somebody who was playing this game, somebody that you all know and love. Anissa, my best friend now, is also a featured cast member on the show, on the season that I was on. Who else better could tell me about this situation that I was not a part of besides the woman who was literally sitting there watching it all go down? I want you guys to get different perspectives from the cast. I definitely saw it from my eyes, but there were 21 other eyes that were also watching from every single angle, and they're gonna have different perspectives every single time. So without further ado, let me introduce my best friend, Anissa. First of all, look at who we have. Look at who we have on the screen right now. Can I get applause?
Hi everyone, I'm Anissa from Are You the One, season 9.
I love that season. You're amazing on it. You're my favorite.
As were you.
I'm really happy to have you here today. Thank you for being here, even though like we talk all the time. Like
literally.
But this feels different because honestly, we were saying we haven't done a format like this since like auditioning for the show. So it feels kind of...
Which is like 2 years ago on the dot.
Yeah, we are on the dot. So we're here at the Kiss and Tell scene, but I kind of want to dive into kind of what was your first impressions when you first walked into the house.
Yeah, when I first walked in, I was with Sam. And oddly enough, he was like in the car right in front of me and he was like jamming or doing something, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be the wild child. And we were going up the steps, even though they were telling us not to talk to each other, he was still like making noises and he was like, I'm ready. I also went in with Roz and Mikey.
When you saw Sam and Mikey, were you attracted to them at all at first?
Mikey, I thought Mikey was really handsome. When I saw Sam, I was like, he looks a little young. I was like, fuck, I'm gonna be the oldest one here. But then I saw Mikey and he looked a little bit more mature. So I was like, okay, well, if there's more like Mikey, I'll feel more at home.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, wait, now I want to know about Kiss and Tell. What were your thoughts? What was happening? Who did you want to kiss? Let's slow down. Hold on. Let me slow down. Ronnie, if you guys don't know, we love Ronnie. Ronnie is the best. We love Ronnie so much. She could speak for it, but I'll speak for it because I love it. They're in love and they love each other.
Her man.
That's her man's. Okay, that's her man's. We love Ronnie, but despite your relationship now,
we're going back 2 years ago.
Yeah, I didn't want to just pretend like Ronnie didn't exist and just like keep talking as if it didn't exist. Yeah, who was your first, you put all your fingers down. Who were you thinking, oh, I'm going to go kiss them?
Okay, so first off, when they decided to play the game, I'm like an observer type of person. So I was like, I'm gonna go kind of observe how everyone like rolls. And I was like, I have a little bit of a secret freak inside me. So I was like, I can keep up. Bitch, when I tell you, I still had 4 fingers up, or half the cast was like done with their fingers. I was like,
no.
Okay, I have a lot to learn.
Well, they were throwing out some crazy things.
Yeah, I don't even know how I got 1 finger down, to be honest. Like, I'm like, did I pretend at that point? Because I don't know. I don't even remember. But I did have, obviously, I mean, everybody had somebody like in their mind because that's who you were going based off initially.
Right.
The first people that you liked or thought were hot from the get-go. So when they had interviewed me and they asked me like, who are your top three? Mine were Eduardo, Leo, and Brendan. So obviously, like when they were playing, I was like, oh, like, you know, it would be nice if Eduardo and Leo were like kind of feeling me like that too, because that's where you're kind of getting an indication of who's feeling who. But yeah, it did not work out like that. And then there was very little, I don't want to say who was left, but there was very
there's nobody safe on this show. You listen to me right now. Nobody is safe. I said everybody is not safe on this show. The only person who's safe is me, and I'm even coming for myself. So, go ahead with what you were gonna say.
Obviously, Leo had already kissed somebody. Eduardo had already kissed somebody. Brendan had already kissed somebody. My options that I was like open to potentially like, oh, you know what? They're like on my top list or whatever, were dwindled down. So I was like, I'm not here just to kiss whoever. Love him so much. My PM, love you forever. But we didn't even have a conversation that day or anything. So I was like, Akel was left. And
so if you got kissed, you can kiss again? Because in I had seen.
But I wasn't going to because my thing was like, I mean, ultimately I was there for love. So it was like, oh, if somebody kissed me.
Honestly, I mean, I kick myself for not being a part of that game. I do. But the other part of me doesn't because I would have kissed everybody. I would have been like, I would have been like, oh, I did it. Like, oh, swingers, yeah, I did it. Like, even though I didn't do it just to kiss somebody. Right. And I feel like that did set a couple of tones for people from the get-go with the kissing. Yeah. JR and Mikey kissed, and that was a thing. They were a thing for a second, to the point where when we went to bed, I was like, do you want to trade beds with me? And she was like, girl, no. And then, you know, then more played out from there.
Speaking of all that was like new to me, like, you know, kissing, like, I don't know, like, or I just didn't also want to step on anybody's toes, especially when it was a girl that kissed somebody. I was like, oh no, that's their man. Like, I'm not gonna go for them. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I just going in there being nice. Okay, did they ask you in your interview if you were like?
They did. They asked me what would happen if you and some girl would want
fight
the
over
same
a
man.
man.
And I said I would sit down and talk to her and see who got along with him better.
I'm like, play what happened when I sat down and talked to a girl.
You didn't even give a fuck about my feelings.
You didn't give a fuck about my feelings. Wow, that was the best Roz impression I've ever done. That was really good. Speaking of beds, I did find some clips of us all going to bed that night, and I just wanted you to share with everybody how you came about picking your bed next to who you chose to pick. I'll let you tell them.
So initially, JR was my girl, right? She was like, you go get, we were like in the upstairs before they did the countdown of everybody's all for one to get your bed. She was like, I'll go get our beds and you get our luggage. And I was like, okay. So we split up, and when I got downstairs, like I immediately when I saw her, she was like, I'm sorry, like Jordan wanted the bed. And like my first initial thought was like, damn, she played me. But I just don't fuck with Jordan either, you know? I was like, Jordan, this bed's yours. I'm not gonna fight with you. Like, you take it.
That's it. You know, even knowing Jordan for less than 24 hours, you knew, you know what, Jordan? That's your bed.
That's yours. Yeah. So like, and once I met Jordan, I was like, I get it, JR. Like, you know, like, she's a boss. You just, whatever she says goes. So like, I get it. I think it was you and Mikey at the top, and then it was Will and Akel at the bottom. And I straight up looked at Akel because Will was like standing talking to you all. And I looked at Akel and I was like, is anyone sleeping there? And he looks at Will and he's like, nope. And I was like, okay. So I threw my bag, and Will like got so mad at me. He didn't speak to me for like 2 days. And 2 days in the villa was like 2 months. Like, it was a long time. Yeah.
It's a long time.
I don't know if people truly understand. Like, I think people think like, oh, a day. Like, no, we had 24 hours of like no TV, no books, no magazines, no papers, no pens, no nothing. Like, literally just each other. And that's a lot of time. Like, I don't think anybody's ever spent just like a quality 24 hours with somebody with no distraction It's a lot.
Yeah. I think that heightened level of taking everything away was a major factor that you're right. People don't understand. Like, that was the only source of entertainment. So anything that anything that happened in that house was going to be spread like a wildfire.
There's no secrets.
Speaking of no secrets, you were about to mention some people who were kissing that you were gonna out and kiss and tell, and we skipped by it.
Out them. They know what they did.
They know what they did, but they don't know what they did. So you can tell them, you know what happened. But I remember when Jordan got flipped over like a chair.
Yeah.
That I remember.
That was
I remember Mikey and JR kissing. Like, I remember that too.
So I believe the first one that kissed anybody had to have been Nathan went up to TK. That was shown, I believe, on the show.
That was one of the first kiss, really?
I think so. Or Brendan kissed MJ.
Really?
I believe so. I'm trying to like recall. No, so me and Roz were like sitting next to each other and we both were like, damn, we still got like 4 fingers up. Like, what the hell? Like,
after that night, some things got a little hot and heavy, and the boom boom room was getting used by JR and Brendan. And then when we got up in the morning, did you know when you went to bed that they were in the boom boom room?
No. So what I knew though, Mikey gets down to talk to Akel. So he's like squatting down, talking to like Akel, and I'm kind of like chiming in. And then we like turn over because on the other bed, it was like on the top, it was JR, and Brendan wasn't supposed to be downstairs. He was an upstairsy. He was like on top of standing on top of the bottom bunk to like reach over to JR, and they were just making out. And mind you, this was right after the kiss and tell or never have I ever game, right? So we were like, and me and Akel like instantly together, we like both turned to Mikey like, you know, like, wasn't that like, you know, your crush, you know? And he was just like, oh, okay. And then like that's when he just like went up to you, and I don't know what happened after that.
We kissed after that.
Okay, I was like, no. First of all, I don't know if you're gonna cut this or not, but like the fact that you right above me twice, never heard it. Not once. No, I was a very heavy sleeper, I guess, because
I know you guys want to hear so much more from Anissa, and trust me, I can sit here and talk to her about this forever. But we are going to have her on in a later episode because after the show, I spent the majority of my time with this girl. So just be prepared to hear from her, not just one more time, but a couple of times. I just want to say thank you, Anissa, so much for coming on. Thank you for being here and being my best friend. Also, yeah, we weren't like besties on the show, but we became more best friends afterwards, which is crazy. We'll dive into that on our like friendship episode that's just going to be about us, because boy do we have stories. Boy do we have stories. You know, we didn't get a reunion, but I'm still going to bring the cast to you, okay? This could be our reunion.
Yeah, because we still can't say everything, but
yeah, we still can't say a whole lot of things. 5 years from now, we'll be able to say everything. But thank you so much, Anissa. I'm so glad and happy to have you. We'll hear back from you soon. I'm not kicking her off. We just have so much more to see. All right, now back to it. Let's get back to the original plot to the movie. So I myself, down this line, was wondering what my big debut was going to look like with one of these boys on this show. Did I guess, hope for the sake of the show and my overall experience that I wanted to have, like, you know, a little shoddy on the show? That was the whole point. But I was, you know, people were like, Danielle, why did you go on this show? And I kept saying, for money and for love. And they're like, really, Danielle? Really? I'm like, you're telling me that somebody took the time to dissect me from head to toe, inward throughout, my picky ass, okay? You are going to pick out somebody for me that is meant to be my perfect match? Yes, I'm going to have some sort of possibility in my mind and optimism to think that I was possibly going to end up with one of these guys. Sue me. Oh my God, I'm on a dating show. Ooh, she thought she was going to fall in love. What a weirdo. If you are going on a dating show, what would you be doing? Sorry, I got a little aggressive there. Let's go back to it. My first kiss My first kiss obviously wasn't in Kiss and Tell, but my first kiss was actually on the first night when we were going to bed. Keep in mind, me and Mikey were sleeping in the same bed. The way that the beds were set up, it was like this full-size bunk beds. On each tier, the beds were like close to each other, but like you could separate the beds if you wanted to. Me and Mikey, you know, we scoot our mattresses together. You know, we're cuddling and whatnot, and it's actually caught on camera. It's caught on camera. We were under the covers thinking we were being sneaky, trying to have conversations under the covers. Look, when you're mic'd 24/7, you feel like you're being watched at all times. Imagine this mic being here with you every day, all day, hearing and repeating every last word you're gonna say. So when it came to the nighttime, that pillow talk would be heavy. You know, I didn't even know what pillow talk was at that time. The boys taught me what it was, and I'm gonna tell you, it's not a good thing. It's not that it's not a good thing. It's just something that's meant to deceive your mind. But nobody told me that. That wasn't in the book. I read Why Men Love Bitches right before I went on that show. And that was not in the book. Pillow talk was not a chapter. And it needed to be. I needed to add that on at the end. Don't listen to the pillow talk. It's going to be a whole bunch of bullshit. Okay? We were pillow talking. And we kissed. And when we kissed, I remember being like, oh my God, that was like my first kiss, like on the show. And he was like, is that like a big deal? And I'm like, yeah, like, haven't you seen the show? Like, that kissing somebody on the show, on a dating show, that's like a big deal. That's when I found out he had never really seen the show before. And that's when I started to realize a lot of my castmates had never seen the show before, which was weird. How are you going to go on a show that you had never seen before? At least looked it up. I don't know if they were trying to be cool or what, but I watched every single season before I got on that shit. You got me fucked up. I need to know what I was going to be wearing, bitch. What way I was going to get myself into. I ain't going in blind. So yeah, we had our first kiss. It was just like I think we did it like twice. And then we went to bed. Woke up the next morning and the talk of the town was obviously Brendan and Cece. No. The talk of the town was JR and Brendan. That's going to be really hard to get unconfused every single time. I'm not even going to lie. That trifecta dating effect that they had going on, that love triangle, it was fucking messy.
He was literally upstairs, like, Cece, hey Cece, what, like, trying to do the most. And I'm laying in bed. So then that right after he went downstairs.
Oh.
So when you see me and Mikey next, we're back on a bed and I say some really unaudible shit out of my mouth.
Give me that look like you're trying to make me go bye-bye.
You know when they're like, if you like somebody, you act weird, and when you know that they like you, you're just like, hey. That's me to the core. Okay, I am so weird if I like you. You know, I run over to the bed. Now, I'm a fourth wall the fuck out of you right now, okay? I am on this bed. And remember, there are cameras on me everywhere. My battery is literally fucking exhausted. That's just sad. As this happens, I'm trying to like literally remain calm because keep in mind, we are on day 3 of this whole entire what feels like science experiment. I'm not really used to the cameras yet, but you know, I'm like, okay, we can do this. I film myself all the time, but I'm talking directly to you, right? But like, imagine having a whole side conversation like over here and it's like flirtatious, but like, you know, this thing is like over here looking at us having this like really serious conversation. It's a little intruding. Or when those cameras are around, that's when like big shit was going on. So when those cameras came up to us, I was like, oh my God. I know you're about to say, you're like, oh, did you ham it up for the cameras? No, I was being myself. Let's get that one thing straight here, okay? The number one compliment that I got after it was all over was that I acted completely myself. And I am so grateful for that. But I also was very confused because I was like, what would I have acted like what were you expecting? And then they were like, oh, I thought you were gonna maybe ham it up for the television. I'm like, girl, I'm a ham Thanksgiving dinner all in itself, okay? Nobody needs me to act any different. And then he asks me,
I feel like everyone knows where I'm at.
They're asking you?
Every single day. Yeah, but I know they're asking you. Don't try and do that with me.
Oh yeah.
And what are you saying? Are you saying me or are you saying poker face?
You.
You think we're a perfect match?
Are you kidding me? Makes me want to puke.
This is the thing. It had been 72 hours. Less than that. And don't get me wrong, those days were long. Like, you are spending a day in and day out just talking about relationships and getting to know these people. And yes, there are 22 people and it does take a second to like really get to know everybody and take individual time. But nigga, it had been 3 days and you're already like, do you think that we're a perfect match? Like, I mean, the thing was, I was gonna live out the fantasy because I wanted that fantasy. That's what I wanted. I was like, oh yeah. Did I think I was gonna be coupled up immediately when the show started? Absolutely not. But is that literally the goal? Yes. So I was like, let's do it. Let's go with it. And then, you know, we kissed on camera, and that was, you know, it icks me out every time. It's really icky to watch yourself kissing on camera. Yikes. And then it got worse. And then, you know, we're in the jacuzzi and shit gets really hot in the jacuzzi. Listen, everybody was making out in that jacuzzi. Like, I remember some people were coupled up making out. I don't know why I'm trying to keep it discreet. I remember Jordan and Eduardo were kissing, me and Mikey, and I think Cece and Brendan, if I'm not mistaken. So, like, you know, the fires were already hot up in that vibe. It wasn't just us. But with us, you know, we was getting a little bit, you know, we were like, ooh, let's go take a shower. Now, I want to say something, and I might be trying to over explain, but let me just fucking say it. I was on my period when we first started filming the show. When that scene was going on in the shower, they told us if there are 2 people in the bathroom, it is no longer private. When we're in the shower, my immediate thought and response was, ooh, 2 people in the shower. Like, we're definitely not alone. Within seconds, that big ass camera was like right there in that shower. I had on my bottoms because I was on my period and I literally just met this man. My top was off. And I just thought when I was being filmed, I was like, oh, well, I'm keeping my underwear on. They're gonna think like, you know, I am a good girl. But like, we're in the shower. Why would you have clothes on in the shower? Why would you speculate people are gonna think that you have on underwear in the shower?
What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
Past self, you're an idiot. Okay? You're dumb. You're dumb, 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 dumb. So yeah, I was in the shower with this boy. That was literally like the first episode. Yeah. And then the whole me being vulnerable part. The thing is, I did go on there to be vulnerable. And if you notice, everybody just kept saying, open up your hearts, open up your hearts. You really got to dig deep.
You have to play with your heart, literally.
And I was really trying to dig deep because I thought that's what we needed to do. So that night was like real spicy. Like, everybody was like really getting it on. There's this one scene in the confessional with Brendan, Cece, and TK. And TK's like, I love that clip. It's so funny. But everybody was really getting it on. You know, Leo and Brooke were like in love and all about that. And me and Mikey, Brendan and Cece, shit was like vibing. But again, there was tea going on because of JR and Brendan. So it was a little spicy that night. And the boom boom room was getting used once again that evening. So on the next scene is a moment that you only wish to see when you are on reality TV. And it's a group of people talking about you without you knowing or you around. And it happened to me. It happened, and when it happened and I saw it, I was like, oh my God, I didn't think this was gonna happen right now. Mikey saying that it was just gonna be too hard for him not to pick me. Of course not.
I think it's gonna be hard for me not to pick Danielle.
I mean, she's fucking cool and she's sexy.
When Ollie chimes in and like, oh yeah, she's sexy. Okay, listen. I had my eye on Ollie. We all saw that. The condom scene.
My.
It's okay.
Okay, yeah, it's good.
That's bouncy.
It's bouncy.
That is very bouncy.
Bouncy.
Ollie, too hot for his own good. He looks like a Ken doll. Fuck, like, Jesus.
Girl.
What's in there?
She said bring.
Oh shit.
God, she just emptied her condoms.
God, I can't.
How many did you bring? Just a couple.
But to hear it, okay, to hear it from another end later. I had known Ollie for an entire year once the show, almost, and been on vacations, and he dated Anissa for a little bit. But I'm gonna let Anissa dive in on that. I don't know if she wants that to be included in here, but yeah, I don't know. I was just so like, me. Thank you. So they're talking about me. I'm over here doing fucking gymnastics in the background. There's so many comments on Twitter when people are like, it's just casual for Danielle to be over here doing like backflips while these boys are over here having this really loving conversation about her. Very me energy, very me coded. When he was like, she's got that confident aspect about her. First of all, yes. Second of all, like, it was so crazy to hear another man talk about me like that. Like, I'm being honest, you know, I'm with my ex, I would ask him like about me and he'd be like, she's outgoing. The most basic generic shit. AI could have probably gave a better description of me than my ex could years ago. But it was kind of wild to like see guys like talk about me in like another way. Then we see Akel in one of my favorite moments when he's like, Courtney went on that boo-boo ass date that she went on. And then they clipped to me shaking my ass in the pool. And I remember my mom was like, why did they have to zoom in on you shaking your ass in the pool like that? And I was like, because that shit was fucking slanging, okay, baby? That shit was fucking smacking. She was clapping up in that bitch. So then we have these house meetings where we're trying to strategize for the night. And this is typical Are You the One shit, is to, you know, strategize for what's going to be happening and who you're gonna pick and blah, 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 blah. And like that tension was pretty high. And it was guys' pick. So girls, we didn't have to worry about nothing. But when it came to the guys, everybody was like really trying to figure out what they were doing and we gotta open up our hearts. I get how many times did everyone say you have to open up your hearts? Like, I need to open up your heart and dig deep count on this screen, I swear. So like we're talking about, you know, who we're gonna pick, and then as a group we decide that we have 3 of the strongest couples in the house. That's going to be Cece and Brendan, me and Mikey, and Leo and Brooke. You know, being in it, I was like, oh my god. Like, I am one of the top couples? Are you kidding? I did not put this on my 22 bingo card. Absolutely not. I thought it was gonna be like a work in progress. Like, no, they were like, you are the strongest couple. We are putting all our money and all our eggs and baskets into your guys' relationships. And I was like, okay. I've known him for like 72 hours. Like, I just want to remind you. I just want to mention that Will was out here to cut throats. He was out here. He was not playing no games. He came to this reality show. He said, I'm coming here and I ain't playing no games. He was like, I just want to pick Brooke just so I could break up Brooke and Leo.
Bro, literally them talking like that is making me be like, bro, I just want to pick your fucking match to piss you guys off now. They might be a perfect match, but at the end of the day, if they're not, you know, it's like, you know, I kind of told you so.
Like, dude, why are you so bent? We've been here for 72 days. Like, that whole moment when he's talking with Brooke, this is the moment when Will clicks out of the video because he already blocked me once for talking about him. And I'm pretty sure he's already gone by now. But I just, like, I want to mention, bro, you were bent for 72 hours. Like, we all were, but that shit was fucking hilarious. He was like, I'm the only guy who made Brooke cry.
They got deep, but I also had Brooke crying to me. And she hasn't cried for anybody else in the house, not even Leo.
That's not a good attribute to be like boasting about. We go to the matchup ceremony down those fucking stairs. And I'm not going to mention anything about the stairs right now. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. It was cold out in that bitch. I swear we filmed that, like, we always film those late at night. And they're outside. And it was freezing. You could tell, like, we were all standing there and I'm wearing this dress. So the minute that Nathan chooses MJ, I'm telling you, we were all sitting there like, what the fuck? What? When did you talk to Maicho? When was that? Like, it was really weird that he picked her, and I feel like it threw everything off, and then we like blamed Nathan for a second. Now that I know the end result, and if he would have chose Julia Ruth, which he does mention later on, we still would have blacked out. I mean, you know what? It's an odds game. Maybe we wouldn't have. I don't know. This is the first matchup ceremony. I had no idea that the boys were going to say literally anything about any of us. So the first guy comes out and he comes out with this spiel. And I'm like, oh my God, like, what is Mikey going to say about me is all I'm thinking. So then he finally comes up and I'm standing there. I'm like, it's like, this is my moment. Okay. And then he like says what he says.
Perfect match tonight is someone who is fun, someone who's confident, someone who's outgoing. Yeah, we've just vibed like pretty much from the start. So my perfect match tonight is Danielle.
And I remember thinking like, oh my God, like this is real. Like this man likes me. I get there and I'm like, you know, Kemi's like, so like, are you shocked by him choosing you? And I was like, no. Because bitch, I'm the baddest bitch. He had nobody else to choose. It was going to be so hard for him to choose somebody else, you know? So he says everything. That's nice. We walk away and we have by far one of my favorite clips and still moments where I look amazing in. Like, I just so happen to be standing next to Mikey. Like, this literally is one of my favorite pictures because I just look so cute and genuinely, bitch, I look so happy because I was literally living my life. I was like, what is happening? Everything's great and dandy. And then Boom! We blacked out. When the blackout happens, production goes silent. Everybody is silent. Then there's a lot of production, okay? It's more than just Cammy and like 3 cameras out there. It was silent. And to the point where I was like, this is a joke. Maybe they're testing the lights to see if they work, just in case a blackout were to happen. For the amount of silence in that room, you would have thought it was a mistake. The only mistake was being made thinking that we really didn't actually think that this was not a fucking game and we weren't going to lose $250,000. I want you to know that is $10,000 for each contestant. So I missed out on $10,000. And on Reddit, people were like, I can't believe they got a blackout. Ha ha ha. How funny. Bitch, that shit's not fucking funny. Give me $10,000 and then I'll laugh. Oh, you don't have it? Then shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up. Seriously, shut up, you fucking dickhead.
Also, whatever I said about this man's eyes, oh my God, gag me, bitch. Gag me. Like, why did I say that? Why? It's because that's what I was feeling. But that's just so fucking lame. Like, and embarrassing. Oh my God, this is why I don't like people. I don't like to be vulnerable, and I don't like when people see my feelings because I'm better off like this. They preview what's gonna happen into the season, and they show so much shit that wasn't shown in the episode. But again, we will digest on that a little bit later. There was a fight that was shown. There was a fight between me and Roz that was shown. Some sex scenes that I didn't see. Some extensions of some things that I was like, oh my God, I needed to see a little bit deeper into that, and then I never got to see it. I'm just as upset as you are. Yeah, I saw your guys' comments on Reddit. I read that shit. You guys are fucking mean. Like, mean. Y'all didn't say much about me, so I love you. We roll over into episode 3, and we're going back reminding us that we just lost so much goddamn money. I don't know why we need to keep highlighting that part. We get into our first house fight, people. That fight shaped everything for the house. To the point where I don't even care. I'm saying this story. Production, get mad at me all you fucking want. We got into our first house fight that night. We came up from the matchup ceremony. Everybody was so fucking bummed because we were like, oh my God. We were literally waiting for Ashton Kutcher to come in and be like, haha, just fucking kidding. Here's your money back. Because we didn't have it, it felt like we couldn't even touch it, but it also felt like, oh shit, like we are not guaranteed to win this. We are the first season back, so everybody's minds were like spiraling like crazy. On top of that, I am just blacked out with this boy that is the first boy to really show me like some intense intention in the house. So I kind of was like, what the fuck, production? Why would you do this to me? I feel attacked. I was more sad about the money. But I was sad about the relationship things. I was like, wonder where that would have gone. Thank God it didn't go that far for the way it fucking turned out. I said, Brooke and Leo are devastated. Leo says I'm playing with my fucking heart. Oh my God, here we go again with the playing my fucking heart shit.
Play my fucking heart, bro. It's some fucking hoe ass shit, bro.
But people were pissed. We go downstairs, we change, we have that whole closet moment scene. Since we're the first season to black out in Are You the One history on the very first episode. So after our closet scene conversation, I go back upstairs. I'm wearing this blue hoodie because there is a shot of me reacting to said fight, but the reaction that I had for that, it was the reaction that I had for this fight. I remember Leo yells and tells everybody how he feels about Brooke, but it was kind of fucking negative because remember, we put all this weight onto these 3 master couples, and because he was so into her, Leo knew he was about to get hella fucking press to move on from Brooke, and he didn't want to, and I respect that. But the way he came about it was a little fucking toxic and just yelled it in front of everybody. And then when he starts like kind of coming down on Brooke, Roz yells back and she's like, don't you dare talk about that girl. I don't know why I'm making her British. It's because I can't do an Ireland accent. That moment, they're yelling across each other in the communal area, and I'm sitting there like, oh shit, like I'm on fucking MTV, like we're fighting, like we're upset. We just lost $250,000. We fucking blacked out. This money that we all came here and we're like la 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 thinking we're gonna win. Yeah, that shit's not guaranteed. And the guy that I like, he's gone now. Snatched him from me. So yeah, I'm pissed too. And the tensions were fucking hot. I don't know. We just all needed to go to bed and relax. Yes, me and Mikey talked about it that night. And I remember being like, we're gonna have to move on from each other, which I was fine with because I was like, well, I do like you, and like in real real life, in hindsight, if I actually like you, we can just date like after this. Like it didn't really bother me. But at the same time, I kind of was bummed because I couldn't like pursue with him more than what I should, because now my focus needs to be on all the other guys, because this is literally clearly not my fucking match. So what am I wasting my time talking to him for when there's somebody that I can have a connection as strong as I did with him at first with somebody else in the house? So I was open to that. And so I was like, yeah, we're gonna have to, whatever, we're gonna have to break up. And then I remember being like, so are we gonna separate beds? And then we were like, no, like we're not gonna separate beds, because he's like, I still like you, like you're the only person that I have connected with in the house. And I'm like, as you should, bitch. Woke up the next day, we were on to new and better things, but I literally woke up and I was like, oh my fucking God, I gotta talk to 10 new niggas now. Like, and a bad bitch was like, I like Mikey, but like
I'm very much still playing this game.
So it's the next day, we have our next game, because when I woke up that morning, I'm like, we're gonna be doing some physical activity, start fighting for these guys, and I haven't even gotten to know that many more people because I've been spending my time with Mikey. Don't get me wrong, I was floating around. I didn't really talk to Mikey that much, honestly, the first 3 days. That's why when he came and pushed up on me on that bed, I was like, really? Because like, okay, period. So Cammy's like, we're bringing out y'all's baggage. Immediately I'm like, our exes are coming. Like they're gonna be videos of our exes. They asked me for my ex's contact information and I gave it to him. So he knew I was going on the show. Everybody knew it was okay. So I'm thinking they're gonna bring out our exes. Wrong. They bring out that fucking Hexagon game. We go back, we're at these fucking boards again. The question is, who was the most recently single? What was annoying as fuck about the entire situation with the game is that we didn't know the answers at the end.
The most recently single are Cece at 3.5 months, followed by Jordan at 4 months.
Like there was no moment to be like, oh, the most single people were CC. Like y'all didn't know. I didn't know either. Nobody told us how the ranking went. And then there's this golden envelope. As a Are You the One fan, I don't remember a fucking golden envelope being a part of this thing, but correct me if I'm fucking wrong. But we had a golden envelope and I was like, wow, okay, well, since we're having another Hexagon game, maybe the golden envelope is something else. No, it literally just says who is going to be chosen, who gets to win the game is the 2 highest ranked guys. Isn't that how a game goes? Leo and Hamoudi win, and Hamoudi picks Anissa. Leo picks Cece. Fast forward past their date. If you want to watch it, watch it. But because this is my show and we're going to talk about, the show exists. You can literally go watch it. I'm not about to sit here and deep dive on everything. When they're on a date, we are still being filmed. And you're wondering what's going on when they're at the dates. We're just hanging out. All those pool scenes and all those like fun hee hee ha ha moments. That's what we were doing when they were on the dates. And honestly, some of those days were the best days. They were the most fun days because it was the most open day that we had. On the first day, we were typically filming the first game. And the second day was a date. And then the third day was matchup ceremonies. Did I mention that it's broken down like that? Every week of the show is 3 days in real time. I don't think I've said that once. So when they come back to the house, they are fucking tweaking. First of all, when you come back from a date, you don't get to just enter back into the house willy-nilly and like have a conversation. Everything is done reality style. And then when Cammy starts talking about the dates, that's when we start to figure out about what had happened. But when they came back, they looked pissed as fuck. It was like, what happened? Cece starts popping off. Leo pops off. Anissa pops off. I didn't even know Anissa had that in her, to be honest, at the time. She was so sweet, and I was like, damn. Like, and then Hamoudi's like, oh, I think you're talking shit. Da, 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 da. That was wild. Like, that was a very interesting situation. Because, too, the dates, like, I got to watch the dates for the first time with y'all. Leo's passive-aggressive interviews are some of my favorite interviews. They're hilarious. The house votes Hamoudi and Anissa into the truth booth, blah, blah, blah. Fast forward. We don't care about all that. You can watch the show. Watch the show. They're not a match, obvi. And then Roggs gets deep again, says we need to open up our hearts and that we need to dig deeper again. Put that on the count. Fast forward, we're at the matchup ceremony again, and I'm wearing this Barbie down outfit. And keep in mind, I had just detached from Mikey, but during that time, you saw when Mikey and Ollie and Nathan were all having this beautiful conversation about me. Eduardo and I were actually over there, and in that time, in that clip, we were having some pretty deep, intimate conversations. Just so happened to be about aliens, one of them. With that being said, he would take this time, and he did this with fucking everybody, and I didn't know at the time. We would be talking for a while, and he's like, you know what, like, I really want to get the time to get to know you. I just like, I want to take time to get deeper and get to know you, as if you were different from everybody else that he had talked to, but he's making you feel like you're like the special chosen one, which I found out he had this conversation with everybody. That night, my first choice was Akel. And it's just funny that they use his clip when they were like,
yo, that was mad left field. I've never seen him talk. Utterly terrified about what the hell the ladies are doing.
Because I was gonna choose you, but somebody else chose you. Will actually was number 2, which is shocking. Will always was easy to talk to, came to my rescue when it came to having conversations. A couple of guys were, but I would say Will was definitely one of those guys. I bet that's hard to believe based off of everything that you guys saw, or that the fact that Will has probably clicked out of this video already. But I picked Will because I was like, there's a possibility that it could be him. So I had him. I remember it went Akel, Will, Eduardo. At the last minute, I switched Will and Eduardo, and I regretted that. I regretted that after, because when I picked Eduardo, let me tell you what happened. We're sitting there, we're having a conversation, and he's like, why did you mention the aliens? And like starts like belittling me for what I had said about him at the podium.
So who do you believe is your perfect match tonight?
I'm still getting time to know him. We talked about aliens a little bit. We talked about,
You got in there. So who are you picking?
My perfect match is Eduardo.
Keep in mind, I did not practice this because guys that I chose on my list, I don't know who I was gonna pick. So I wasn't gonna come up with a fucking saying for every single person. I was just gonna speak from the heart. So when it came to speaking from the heart and all the conversations that I had with Eduardo, the deepest one we did have was about aliens, which is like, yeah, why would you pick Eduardo if you're only doing conversation? But girl, I don't know. Be in my shoes and come on the show and then choose out of these guys, okay? They're all fine. That's all I was looking at so far. So he sits there and he's like, why did you say the thing about the aliens? And I'm like, because I just, that was something we got to about. He's like, we need to be practicing what we're saying when we're going up there. And I'm like, I didn't come here to be fake. I came here to be real, and that's what I was feeling, and that's what happened. We're having this conversation as we're sitting in these seats. He was just like, we need to be uplifting each other's businesses and talking about good things about each other. And I'm like, that's all great, but I did not come here to sell your business. I didn't come here to sell anybody's business. I came here to win $1 million, and I'm already failing at that. So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, Mr. Head Honcho Salesman, but I think you're on the wrong show. I think Shark Tank is actually looking for somebody for the next season. You should go on there. I'm like, okay, well, I didn't come here to do this, blah, blah. And he's like, well, have you been around in the industry like this before? Have you ever been around cameras like this? I got pissed the fuck off. I was pissed. Why was I pissed? Everybody in that entire room knew I danced for the NBA. It was like my whole thing. Like everybody had their spiel. Ollie was like an app developer and a business owner, and Jordan had her bikini business, and Clay had his workout company. Everybody's like staple thing what they were. For somebody who had been talking and yapping in my ear saying, oh, I want to get to know you, all I want to get to know you, all I want to get to know you, and the one and only thing that you should know about me you don't know, and then you sit here and belittle me for what I say, and then on top of that, after that, you're like, oh, have you ever been around this before? Bitch, let me fucking tell you, I am on camera every other fucking day, and you're watching. So don't make me get disrespectful in here. I got disrespectful. I was fucking mad. I was so pissed. I was like, you're fake. You're a phony. You're a fucking phony, and I don't like that. And I got so fucking mad. Look, Eduardo and me beefed. He got on my everlasting nerve. He's actually one of the guys that I fought with the most, to the point where I was very shocked not to see one of our fights, but they were all unhinged because that conversation that we were having was like in the middle of a matchup ceremony. I didn't think they were gonna come and grab our sound bits from there. And then the next fight happened. Will comes down to me and he's like, hey babe, what's going on? And I'm like, look, I'm fucking pissed. He did this, X, Y, and Z. And then out of nowhere, Eduardo comes down. And I'm like, who the fuck brought you here? The minute I said that, the camera goes, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm trying not to have this happen. Because the thing is, when you're upset and you have any sort of emotion, it's getting filmed. If you shed a single tear, the minute your eyes well up, there's a camera. I was like, I wasn't gonna cry or anything. I just was annoyed as fuck. I didn't want anybody knowing. He comes down and I'm like, who sent you? Found out Jordan sent him. She was like, you should go check on Danielle. And then he claimed that he was like, I knew something was wrong with you, so I came down here. Liar, fake. phony. I popped off on him and I was like, you're fake as fuck. You came here and you're talking about saying all this stuff to the cameras about everybody else and practicing what we're gonna say. I didn't come here to be fake as fuck. I came here to be real.
Oh, Rima, I thought we were gonna be like BFFs in the house. That's what we said from the beginning. And then you turned on me. Why'd you turn fake on me, Rima? I don't understand. I don't understand, bitch. I don't understand.
And that was my first fight on the show. And that's in the end of episode 3. The next couple episodes are insane and crazy, so we're gonna leave that for our next episode. If you made it this far, comment, open up your heart. Just put that in there. Either open up your heart or you gotta dig deep. Like, just those comments. So I asked some questions on Instagram. First, how did you feel watching the show back? Honestly, watching it back, I need you to understand that felt like I was on a 5-week-long boot camp. 3 days was minimized into these 45-second videos. So watching it back, I would have moments like, oh my God, like they missed this and this happened and this happened. I was icked out with watching me kissing on the show and the shower scene and all that. I was kind of like, whoa, like, damn, okay, like give me a second. I also feel like I was being truly myself, so I didn't feel like my character or anything was like poorly written or I was displayed in a way that I didn't want to be displayed. I feel like that's exactly how I was. Seeing the condom scene back was so funny because I forgot about that. I don't know. I think just watching it back, I was like disappointed because there was a lot of stuff that happened. Now that it's been some time, I realize like you can't fit everything in. I edit videos all the time. You can't fit every little quip and qualm and moment and funny thing that I think is funny that you're probably not going to think is funny into every single video, or else all videos would be hours and hours long. Overall though, I really liked how I turned out. I truly enjoyed watching it back, at least for my own character and as a show, and now watching it later on and not like dissecting the literal fuck out of it. It was really good. It was pretty good. It was very different compared to other seasons of Are You the One? But I liked it. It was cute. It was very like cinematic. What was the most shocking and most frustrating thing about reality TV? I think the most shocking thing is that I can't watch reality TV the same. I can barely watch TV the same. You just know what's going on now behind everything. So it loses its magic. Josh, one of my producers, told us that. I remember him telling us like, you're never gonna watch reality TV the same. I think that there's a lot of shocking things that I can't fully share with all of you because I honestly contractually can't say some of the things, but in 5 years, I'll tell you fucking everything. I know I can say everything in 5 years. So did you have sex? I'm not going to tell you. We'll talk about that in the next episode. We will talk about that in the next episode. In the next episode, some things got a little spicy at the Heaven and Angels party. So, you have sexual intercourse. Y'all just want to find out if I want to have sex, huh? If I had sex, because I did bring all the condoms. Honestly, I brought all those condoms, and I brought them to be safe. And I wanted to make sure all my castmates had contraceptives, and nobody was going to have an Are You the One baby on my behalf. I just didn't want that for all of us. I'll be answering questions after every single episode so we can dive a little bit deeper in seeing what you guys wanted to know. But thank you so much for tuning in to my first episode of Behind the One. I am so grateful that you are even here. Thank you if you made it this far. I appreciate you. Also, because I want to start a podcast, y'all. Like, I want this podcast type format because I can talk for hours, but I just want to say thank you. And if you watched the whole season, I love you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you to all my friends and family who watched it. Sorry to my friends and family who watched it and saw those scenes, but hey, it was reality TV. I was going in there balls deep. I was going in there balls to the wall. What are the chances that you get to go on a reality TV? This is a one-in-a-lifetime chance, so I'm gonna take it. I'm excited to continue to talk more and talk to more guests who are gonna be on the show. I'm excited to talk to them and catch up and see where they are in their life now. But until then, thank you so much for tuning in. I love you so much, and until next time. I haven't said that outro in a long time. Oh yeah, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Follow me on all my social medias. I be out there. I be popping my shit. I be looking cute as fuck on Instagram. My ex-boyfriend told me that if he saw my Instagram today that he would not date me. That is literally what he said word for word. So yeah, go and check out my Instagram. Follow me on TikTok and all the things down below. Thank you again for tuning into my channel. If you like this video, please like this. Leave a comment and tell me you fucking loved it, okay? Because I need to know. How am I supposed to know if you're not gonna give me feedback? If you tell me, Danielle, I fucking hated this. I hate that you have that mic. It's so stupid. Why are you holding it? Put it down. Tell me the truth, okay? Just tell me the truth. I love you.